Przetłumaczę wam dokładnie, żeby nie było wątpliwości. Mistrz Ligi Letniej w Filadelfii, chodzi o piłkę nożną oczywiście. Powiem tylko tak, gdyby nasza reprezentacja na Mistrzostwach Świata grała tak jak moja drużyna w Filadelfii, to by nam Francja całowała pięty. Tak jak było w 82. Kto nie pamięta albo nie wie, niech sobie sprawdzi. A tymczasem pozostaje nam pogratulować Francji i oczywiście pogratulować mojej drużynie. Nieskromnie powiem, że walka była trudna, ale wygraliśmy! Co oczywiście nie ma nic wspólnego z tym, o czym będzie dzisiejszy odcinek, ale tak sobie pomyślałem, że warto zacząć od pozytywnych wieści. Pada sobie deszczyk. Co to jest? Pajęczyna na obiektywie? To już jest przesada. Pająk. Jak ten się tu dostał? Żyjemy z pająkami, trzeba to przyznać. There's a spider right here.
Oh my gosh.
What the hell?
Wow.
Can we film this with the iPhone? Or should we even be showing stuff like this?
What? It's just a spider.
Did you get him? No jak się żyje na wsi, to tak jest, niestety. Aparat stał sobie w domu przez noc, więc jest to dowód, że mamy pająki w domu. Będzie kontrowersja na vlogu, a może nie. W każdym razie co chciałem powiedzieć, że pada sobie deszczyk, bardzo mile widziany, bo było super gorąco, jak już do bólu aż nadmienialiśmy w ciągu ostatnich kilku filmów, więc teraz się trochę ochłodziło. I również w ciągu ostatnich kilku filmów tak w zasadzie krążyliśmy wokół tematu, gdzie mieszkać w USA i z jakich konkretnych powodów, w jakim stanie. Dzisiaj bardzo konkretnie, bez ściemniania, bez chodzenia dookoła, z mapą, tak jak prosiliście, żeby raz na zawsze zamknąć ten temat. Tak w zasadzie to nie musi być raz na zawsze, możemy do niego wrócić jeszcze kiedyś, ale chcemy to po prostu zrobić solidnie. Deszczyk sobie odszedł tak samo szybko jak się pojawił, a my dzisiejszy odcinek nakręcamy cały na parkingu lokalnego supermarketu. No nie, ale możemy zacząć tutaj, czemu nie? Czy jest w Stanach miejsce dla artystów, osób kreatywnych z intelektualnym twistem, gdzie nie ma obsesji posiadania i pieniądza, ale możliwość swobody rozwoju? Jeśli nie, pytam o niemożliwe.
I would say
Santa Fe,
yeah.
New Mexico.
I think we both had that thought pretty much. It's known as an artist community here in the United States. I mean, don't get me wrong though, because every city will have its area and neighborhood that is that focus, and you can definitely find your group of people no matter where you go here.
The thing about Santa Fe though is it's a very specifically artist-tuned place where there's a lot of paint, there's a lot of art galleries, a lot of sculptures, a lot of sculptors, all kinds of artists actually. And as far as cost of living goes, I'm not sure how expensive it is. It looked a little bit higher endish to me when we were there in 2015 during our trip through USA.
I mean, it looks very clean and nice and well put together, so usually places like that have lots of money, but we didn't really look up the financial statistics or anything like
So as Blani said, you could probably find artistic side of many different cities in USA, but if you want specifically a large artist community, then that is definitely number one place in USA. I think a lot of people would agree. All right, wife, let's get to the specifics. Next criteria, safety. What's the most dangerous, well, is dangerous the right word? The state in USA with most recorded crime.
Oh
Let's
my
be
gosh.
specific.
Actually, now that I'm telling you this, I looked this up and was shocked and then never looked up why. So I kind of feel like maybe we should look up why. The number one most dangerous state is New Mexico.
Really?
And then number 2 is Alaska.
Alaska?
It used to be number 1. Isn't
Most
that
dangerous
crazy?
state in USA?
Yeah.
There's nothing going on in there.
I know. When I saw that, I was like, what the heck is that about? And then I forgot to look it up, why that would be.
Maybe people hunt so much in Alaska that they miss the animals and shoot people instead.
Yeah, I don't know. I was shocked when I saw that.
Work on your aim, Alaska people.
And number 3 is Louisiana.
Louisiana,
which
so-
the other list we read said Louisiana was number 1.
We actually
So-
thought that Louisiana was the state with the most recorded crime in USA, but the statistics say differently. What years are those for?
This is the most recent year from the FBI.
Most recent recorded, so it's probably
Yeah.
like 2016.
No, I think it was 17 actually.
Oh, really?
And then after Louisiana is Arkansas, and then South Carolina.
But Arkansas, not to offend anyone, is
Oh my
kind
gosh!
of one
Usually
of those
you should
boring
just
states.
stop right there. When you say, "I don't mean to offend you," the statement following that is usually,
No, I'm just gonna say that, okay, let's be fair. In comparison to other states in US, Arkansas is one of those states that are not as interesting, at least in terms of the landscapes and the look of the state. Do you agree?
actually, there's this area called Hot Springs, and they have mountainous areas, and it's really beautiful. So I think
I take that back then.
I think Arkansas is actually a hidden gem that people don't ever think about or talk about, and when you actually see some of their most beautiful areas, you're surprised, kind of like we were about New Mexico.
So I use this technique here to like put out a statement that is kind of challenging, and then wife straightens it out, so we can come to the conclusion that Arkansas is actually a pretty cool state. But
you should look up photos so you can see if you agree with me or not. I think
Okay.
picturesque wise, it's beautiful, like everything else, city and livability and all that, I have no idea.
so since we're talking about landscapes and people who love the outdoors, love taking photos of landscapes, love being outdoors, just love experiencing nature, the top states in my personal categorization would be Utah, out of this world, amazing. Colorado again, really beautiful. There's so much cool stuff. Nevada has pretty cool deserts. If you're into deserts, you go to Nevada and just explore. Sedona Valley in Arizona, you can hike any time of the year. It is hot in the summer, but it's again dry heat, so it's not so terrible. In the winter, you can do some amazing hikes in Sedona Valley. It's super gorgeous. California does deliver. If you go to Big Sur, unforgettable views. Other areas of California too. Pacific Northwest again. All these northern states like Washington, Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, super beautiful.
The West.
Yeah, basically the West.
Yes.
There's a huge difference between Western USA and the rest of US, and the line kind of starts with like it goes through the almost through the
Colorado.
middle of Colorado. Like when you
Colorado,
enter
Mexico.
Colorado from the east side, is kind of flat, and you have this idea like you start driving through it and you're like, okay, where's all that cool stuff
It's
people
like
talk about?
plains and fields
Right.
instead of.
So like 75 miles into Colorado, that's where all the coolest stuff begins. Anything past that line to the
I would
west.
say Denver West.
Right, yeah.
Because you get to Denver and nothing remarkable, and then you start to see past Denver the skyline. Oh my gosh, there's mountains there. You know?
Absolutely. We have just, Blondie has just finished another family session. People procreate like crazy, don't you think so? Everybody has 2 kids at least.
And the last 2 were pregnant that we photographed.
Yeah,
Amanda
that's
and
what I'm
Amber.
saying. But look at this light now, it's just amazing.
This is my favorite light, when there's this sunlight here and those dark clouds behind it.
Let's quickly start with the weather, because it impacts people's lives to a great degree. So very quickly, if you like the seasons of the year, if you want to have full 4 seasons, you stay on the East Coast, with Vermont and Maine probably having the most beautiful fall you can imagine on this planet. the whole of New England actually having great fall. The more you go towards the north in any part of USA, the heaviest winter you will get. So the northern part of New York State, very heavy winters. Maine, very heavy winters. Even parts of Colorado, Montana, Pacific Northeast.
Northwest.
Pacific Northwest, also pretty significant winters. The more you go to the south, less winter. States like Nevada, Arizona, large parts of Texas, California have almost no winter at all. There is no winter in Florida. Do not expect snow in Florida, or even South Carolinas, Alabama. None of these states have real winter. If they do, it's very unusual, very unheard of. Once every 50 years maybe. True? Did you ever see snow in Texas when you were growing up there?
I mean, there were flurries that never stuck. You would see it in the air, but that was it. But they did have some snow this year.
Last year, yeah. Last year there was snow in Texas, which was pretty unusual.
They had it, as I recall hearing, once every 10 years it would snow and stick on the ground, but that's like this much sticking on the ground.
As far as humidity goes, again, the further south you go on the East Coast, the worse it gets. So Miami in Florida, the Florida Keys, super high humidity, very tough to last in the summer. On the East Coast, where we are kind of mid-east, it's pretty bad in the summer. It lasts for maybe 2 months and then it goes away, so the rest of the year is better in terms of humidity. Southern states on the West Coast, like Arizona and New Mexico, and then going north towards Colorado, they have less to zero humidity. So it's hot over there, but it's much easier to live, to stand in the summer. It's much drier climate. Once you move to Pacific Northwest again, a lot of rain. So the weather is more balanced. You're getting the seasons of the year again, but you have to be okay with more cloudy days and more stormy weather through a large part of the year. Witam. Chciałbym zacząć od tego, że bardzo lubię wasz vlog. Szkoda, że ma tak mało wyświetleń. Łapka w górę. Pracujemy nad tym. Dzięki. W odniesieniu do odcinka najlepsze dla mnie miejsce w Stanach, jestem informatykiem, nie lubię upałów, jestem raczej spokojny i chciałbym mieć dostęp do świeżych ryb. Myślałem o Seattle głównie albo Chicago, ale to dlatego, że mam tam dużo rodziny. What would you recommend based on all we talked about so far would be a perfect place for Michał?
I would definitely say Seattle.
Seattle.
If you want to work for a tech company, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook and Google have campuses up here.
I feel like if you're a calmer person, you can find a nice quiet place maybe on the suburbs of Seattle for yourself there. You're definitely close to the ocean.
I don't think Seattle's a crazy city itself, though. I bet you can find your calm place right in the city.
Pearl Jam comes from Seattle, so it's a great city.
A lot of bands come from.
Yeah, a lot of good bands. You would like to have access to fresh fish. That's definitely, there's a lot of fishing going on over there. Or you can drive, probably an hour outside the city and find multiple locations for fishing. And you're an IT person. So again, Pacific Northwest, plethora of IT jobs available.
If it weren't the fish thing, I would say Colorado as well. But
yeah, there's probably less fishing. There's lake fishing
trouts.
in Colorado. Yeah, lake and
so you could get a lot of
river
trout
fishing in Colorado, but not ocean fishing. I feel like we have a lot already, so tell us guys what you think. If you have other questions related to these subjects, hit us with those. And now Blondie will do our closing sequence.
Why does it make me do this? I can't remember the whole thing that you said. Thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button. Is that good? We'll see you in 3 days.